This is all about sailing as fast as you possibly can. Yes, that's right, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV with the first speed stick update video of 2025. And yes, there have been some very big speeds on the speed stick already. So what is the global speed stick, you may ask? Well, what it is a speed sailing competition which is going on all of the time. To get involved, all you need to do is go out sailing at your normal sailing location, take with you some sort of GPS device, even if it's just your phone in a dry bag, running an app like the official speed tracking app of Joyrider TV is now Water Speed, which is available for iOS and Android devices. So it's a good choice to use if you're not already tied in with another type of GPS. Go out sailing, see how fast you can go. Then when you've been out, send me the results and yes, you'll get on the leaderboard. Okay, so what we're going to do right now, we're going to dive in and take a look at who's been doing what so far this year on the speed stick. And we're launching in 15th position, sailing in Nacra, Lefkada, Greece. Yes, it was me on the Minicat, test driving the new rolling spinnaker. Yes, there's a video of that whole experience as well, with a speed of 9.61. Yeah, you don't have to be breaking any records to get on the speed stick, and it is a good idea to get involved even if it's not your all-time best speed, just so then you've got recorded a speed that you're going to be chasing for the rest of the year, trying to beat it. In 14th place, sailing out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, USA, we've got Robbie sailing solo on the Hobie 16. Then in 13th position, also sailing solo on the Nacra 570 in Fort Myers, Florida, USA, is Ryan on the Nacra 570 with a speed of 14.4 knots. Notching it up. In 12th position, we've got Robbie again, this time joined by his dad, Arthur, on the Nacra into 20. What a great boat. Again, Ocean Springs, Mississippi, this time with a speed of 16.89 knots. In 11th place, this time still in the USA, sailing out of Seabrook in Texas, we've got Matt and Will on the Hobie 16 with a speed of 17.1. Then notching it up, and we're heading to Australia, where we've got Andrew, who is sailing a Windrush 600. Yeah, quite a rare piece in Dampler, Western Australia, with a speed of 17.2. Nice stuff there, Andrew, in 10th place. Then in 9th, 3 up on the Shockwave F18. We've got Alex sailing with Felix and Fabi on Mugglesy, Berlin, Germany, with a speed of 17.51. That looks like it was a lot of fun. Then in 8th place, sailing a Hobie 14 on the Swan River, Perth, Western Australia. Hobie 14 of Tim with a speed of 17.8 knots. Now that is somewhat cooking some goose there on the 14. Great job, Tim. Then in 7th place, we're heading to the Netherlands in Grevelingenmeer. We have Koen sailing with AJ on the Inter 20 from Nacra with a speed of 18.14 knots. Great stuff there, Koen. And I will be seeing you soon on my trip to Holland. Oh yes. And then in 6th place, and another somewhat of a rarity these days, sailing solo on the GETAWAY 5.7 on Roosevelt Lake, Arizona, USA. We've got Darren, and on this run he's setting his personal best of 19.01 knots on the GETAWAY. Fantastic bit of sailing there, Darren. Nice job. And then in 5th position, again in the USA, this time in Galveston, Texas, we've got Chris and Scott sailing on Chris's new to him Nacra F18 with a speed of 20.1 knots. Chris is one of the organisers of this year's Nacra 50th anniversary regatta in Texas. Yes, if you're in the area, get down there. It's in the middle of June. Check out the links for the information on that great event. Then in 4th position, and yes, it is the 3rd Inter 20 on the speed stick for this year, making the Inter 20 actually, just checking, yeah, the Inter 20 is the best represented class on the speed stick so far. Now, do you want your class to be represented on the speed stick? If the answer is yes, then you need to be representing your class and getting other sailors of that class to get involved. All right, but we've got in 4th place on the Inter, we've got Steve and Carl sailing at Grafham Water near to Cambridge in the UK with a speed of 22.8 knots. Now that is absolutely sending it down the mine shaft big time. Now for something completely different, on the podium in 3rd place, we've got Mick, Hayden and Ben sailing the VX1 keelboat monohull in Waterloo Bay, Brisbane, Australia. And here we can see they are absolutely sending it right up and to the point where they hit a top speed of 23 knots, which seemed to be a bit too much for the boat on this occasion where we're suffering from a broken mast. Unlucky there, guys. Hope that you get her back on the water while the season is still going. Then in 2nd place, keeping it in Australia, we're going to Somers, Victoria, where we've got Jack and Tom sailing a Hobie 16. Now, both of these guys just 17 years old, and they already know how to push the 16 to the limits, getting a speed of 25.5 knots. Now, that is one of the quickest Hobie 16 speeds or non-foiling catamaran speeds that have been on the speed stick of all time. So great job there, Jack and Tom. Yeah, we will be compiling the all-time speed stick, but that won't be until the end of the year. So see where you are ranking on that speed stick. That will be quite interesting. And then yes, in 1st place, and yes, we are foiling. Yes, we're on a Nacra 20 FCS with a speed of 27 knots. We're on Lake Te Anu Marakura Yacht Club in New Zealand. We've got Sam and Harry. They've actually designed it with a lower drag mainsail, with the pinhead mainsail, much like we see on the A-class catamarans, to achieve even higher speeds. They're feeling that for the really high speeds, the big square top mainsail isn't necessary, because once you get up to these sort of speeds, foiling, all that big top on the sail is doing is creating more drag. So great job there. Now, Sam and Harry would like to connect with other sailors of the Nacra 20 FCS. So if you're sailing a 20 and you'd like to connect, send me a message, put it in the comments, and I'll put you guys in touch. And then you can start exchanging some ideas of how to sail faster. Okay, so there we go. Those are the runners and riders on the speed stick so far this year. If you're not yet involved and you're able to get out on the water, then yes, get out there and send it. New feature for this year is I will be including myself on the speed stick as well. And then perhaps at the end of the year, everybody who gets a higher speed than me, bit of incentive for me, will be getting a custom I sail faster than Joe t-shirt, which I will send to you if on a let's say on a non-foiling boat. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with some more on Joyrider TV. All right.